Welcome back. I'm sorry if there's any background noise. They've got some building work going on and they're knocking down my conservatory at the moment. However, I've been asked to do a little bit of welding for somebody. He's getting on quite well with his Black 5 loco, which I hope to be able to show you before too long, whether it be in bits or it's just a stunning piece of work. But Superheaters, he's cut these to length and he just asked me to weld the spearheads. He's already cut them and they are ready for weld. He's also done the headers. I'm going to weld around each of the pipes, seal them on, and I believe that must be the steam chest pressure gauge or snifter, one or the other, and the other header. So he's made them out of box section and he's cut the end, folded it over, ready to be welded around to make the seal at the end. So I'm just going to weld that lot up. I'm not going to put the elements into the headers today. I'm going to wait until he's here to make sure I've got them set up in the right positions and then weld them. So let's take a look. So we'll be welding using the TIG welder up there. They're the tubes cut to size. Like I say, I need to weld around the end of them, and these, he's made this little jig so the pipes go underneath them. That would be easy if I show you. Can't do that one-handed. Yeah, so we'll get get one of these set up and show you the welding. So there is the first element in the jig, and so what I'll do with the TIG is just weld around that joint and take it from there. If I was doing them, I probably would have left a slightly larger angle, but it is what it is. I've gone to this smaller angle. It's a longer spear. We'll see. So it would appear that having set it up, I forgot to press play on or record on the video. So there's the first one done. We'll take that out and I'll show you again on the next. So I'll only show you the first bit of the welding because once I try and spin it round and move, you won't be able to see anymore. But here goes. That's the first side done. What I'll do, I'll spin it over, do the other side, and then I'll show you. So that's been fully welded now. Not the best looking weld, but it's going to do the job. I can go with the first one, only two more to do. So I'm on the fourth set now, fourth pair, and I finally got one that the weld looks as nice as I'd like. They'll do the job. They're going to be stuck inside the firebox, so it's not the end of the world, but take a look at this one. So it's a much nicer looking weld. However, at the moment I've not quite got the joint in the middle there. The difficulty you have with that bit is how close you can get with the nozzle and be able to see in there while you're doing it. That's why I would probably have left it with a slightly wider angle, but I didn't cut them. I'm doing the best I can with what was given to me. We will get this welded. So going around these fittings, I have tacked both sides to begin with, so that when I weld around, it doesn't try and pull in different directions. So hopefully it'll keep it square. So there we go. All the bits for Chris's Superheaters. Just needs Chris's input now to make sure we get those the right way up for what he wants. And yeah, that could either end up being on the top or the bottom, depending on what he wants. I'm guessing the bottom, but it just needs to check. So I'll be back when we start welding some of them together. So I was at the club today. I saw Chris. He's squashed down the Superheaters to the required length, spacing, where I've welded it, and they're now ready to weld into the headers. He's confirmed which way around it all needed to go, and I have it now set up behind me. So let's take a look. So the two headers are being held together by a clamp with a bit of brass in between as a spacer. They're all just sitting there nicely at the moment, and what I'm going to do is just get them tacked in place to begin with, and then what I'll probably have to do is pull the two headers apart so I can get to weld in between. Let's hope it goes okay. Right, so both ends of all four tubes have now been tacked, and now I can start manipulating it, getting it into better angles to fully weld it. See you back in a minute. So I've done all of these so far. I've just got this last weld around here, which is not easy because of the other set being in the way, but that would have always happened whether I'd done it one element at a time or one sort of set at a time or header at a time. There was always going to be a difficult bit to get to, but we'll see how we get on. Got no idea if you can see that behind me. I believe that is it. Let's take a little look around. So that'll do for me. If you're wondering where I put my earth clamp because you couldn't see it there, I'll show you that now. So the vise is bolted to the bench, which has a steel top on it. And over here, that's where the welder is. Down there there is a magnetic clamp which can stick to the bench. Lovely bit of kit that. Now it does depend how secure all this is in the smoke box, but Chris may decide that he wants to, it's still hot, wants to put something, a strap between these and just weld them in place to stop that happening in the car. That's the only time you'd really notice it. With the concentric tube style that I do normally, the inner tube has a tendency to rattle, and my engines, they sort of rattle in the car, so I've started putting a slight curve to the inner tube to make sure it stays against the edge inside, but that's another thing. Well, there we go. I will try to drop these off to Chris, and maybe you'll get a chance to see it in situ on the engine, and we'll have a little look at the engine as well, if he'll let me, on the next video or in the coming videos. But for now, they're done. They'll go off to Chris and I can get back on with everything else. So, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.